Okay, guys, I just watched the 6th episode of Overlord, and I must say, this gotta be one of the best. It's, I'll almost say, for those of you who has watched DanMachi, or Is It Wrong to Pick Up a Girl in a Dungeon, I'd almost say that this episode is on the level of the eighth episode. You know, the episode where basically after watched it, you're basically like, is this really the same as basically you can't believe this is the same. This is like, this is amazing. This episode of Overlord is amazing, and I'm almost kind of feeling ashamed for spoiling it, but well, let's talk about it. It's actually very funny because I think that we get a little foreshadowing, because in the beginning they are talking about a beast who basically are that powerful, basically that I think it's called the wise king or something. It's basically a beast that is so wise that it can use magic, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna meet that, because Eins or Mormon says, I would love to meet this beast. But this is not the amazing part. Let's say it like this. After the opening, we see like the place. I can't recall the place, you know, where Mormon lives, you know, where there is the Guardian, and basically like Dimingu, he walks into Ein's bedroom and finds Albedo naked, and man, she's basically like sent, and man, she already planned like she basically already made clothes for kids, for both boys and girls, for 5 years, basically up to 5 years, and man, it's not that, but basically she puts up a Dakimura of Eins, and man, oh man, yeah, but you most likely already knew that because of the thumbnail, man. That's insane. But that's actually not what makes this episode like extremely good, because we finally get to see what's it called, more moment or Ein's fight. Basically, we see how shall we say his companions, you know, the druid, I would call him an archer, you know, the one who's like hitting on Nabe all the time. The what I would presume is a fighter, and like a mage slash cleric. He is basically the teamwork. It's amazing. It's really amazing. But also when Ainz basically walks up and like, oh, this is nothing, and then he just pulls off 2 bastard swords, or at least I think that's bastard swords. He just pulls them out, and that, oh my god! If it wasn't for Albedo and the Dakimura, that would be the thumbnail, because that was freaking amazing. And then he just slices a ogre that comes running at him in two, or in twine, if we shall use old language, in one stroke, man. I kind of want to see him and Guts fight, you know, Guts from Berserk. I kind of want to see who would win. And man, like when he basically are like massacring the ogres and they basically decide to run, we see Nabe, he just like lightning from one finger and kills 2 ogres in one lightning bolt. Or yeah, it must be a lightning bolt. It's freaking amazing. And later on, we find out that man, basically like Ainz, he feels alone in this world. He feels alone because none of the game. While it was a game, Yggdrasil, he none of his companion is there. Well, we don't know that for sure, but we can assume that, and he kind of misses them because it was a fun time for him that time, and I can understand that. I've had that happen to me when I left my first guild that I raided in TBC to join another guild that was, let's say, that they were higher up in the progression scale, but I kind of want to wish that I would have stayed with them because I'm missing them. I really miss those people. Yeah, and we find out that the alchemist, or I will call him an alchemist, he has a crush on a girl in the town he comes from, and if I shall take a guess of it, I will guess that you remember the girl from the previous episode, which had her potion crossed. I presume that he most likely have a cross on that girl. Unless it would be very sick and twisted. It could be Clementine. Or actually, that's not the way her name is pronounced. But I would call it Clementine. Because that's easier to pronounce than her actual name. I will actually have to hear it. And then I will have to directly talk about her in order to say it, because I cannot recall it. But basically, see her. Apparently, she has like a power that if she stabs a person through the heart, she can like control him and get him to tell everything. But I think the downside is that the person dies, and she's so twisted because she's like, I'm in love with killing people, and she's smiling, then just an a cute little innocent tongue, like she's joking, man. And oh man, we also find out. I also found out in this episode what the highest rank you can get in the guild is. It's called Admanatite, and it's like the strongest people. You remember the head warrior from previous episode, not previous, the previous, the one where we saw fighting the first time in the third episode. Yes, it's the third episode. Where we saw him fight, man. Or is it the fourth? I actually think it's the fourth episode because this is the sixth. Yeah, it's pretty sure it's the fourth, but I cannot be sure. Basically, that warrior, he's like the strongest you can get, and we all remember how he got beaten by, let's say it like this, those mages, and Mormont or Ainz, yeah, he just defeated it like it was nothing. Man, so he's stronger than the strongest people here. We even get to see some silhouettes of the strongest people, which could lead me to believe that we may see those people in the future of this. And I'm actually wondering, unless Madhouse rushes this. I cannot see that happening in the foreseeable future. So I will just like, yeah, this is another reviewer's thought. He said that they may consider doing a sequel, as basically, you know, Madhouse isn't doing season 2, but maybe they are taking and using Overlord as an experiment where they basically like, they craft it perfectly. They are not afraid to do it slow pace and not like World Trigger, which has been told is slow pace, but perfectly paced. Basically, like, yes, that's good, because I'm freaking looking forward every week to watching Overlord and seeing where we'll go. And man, there wasn't really a cliffhanger in this episode, but I don't need that after watching this, man. Oh man, if it wasn't because Chibi from Chibi's review released a vlog tomorrow where he unboxes fan mail, I would most likely be like, oh my god, how can I get to the next Tuesday, because this is insanely good. It was, man. You guys, go watch it. Go watch this. Go watch it. This, man. If you haven't started Overlord even yet and just watches this because hey, it has an interesting thumbnail, then go watch this. I know that some will not like it because there's like a lot more world building and monologue episode where we basically are like, we learned about people, you know, like the 4 companions of Mormont, you know, the druid fighter, etc. And then we have fighting. Actually, I think we have only this episode. It mixed fighting and dialogue, and it's really amazing. I'm actually looking forward to hearing what Chibi has to say about it, because I'm really, yeah, as you can see, I'm lost for words. And I would most likely run in circles trying to explain my feelings. So all I can say is, if you want to see this, or if you want to experience this, I recommend go watch this, man. I will say that I decided to save Monster Musume to last, because if this was a disappointment, I could always rely on that to most likely get me happy. But this one, it's not a disappointment. As I already said, I think, have I said it 3 or 2 times? This is a really good episode. You really need to watch this. Man, I haven't felt like this since the Rampo-Kitan episode, where, yeah, sadly that recording went corrupt, and I really hope this isn't going corrupt. But man, you should have seen that. It's basically like my best review. Basically the last Rampo-Kitan, not episode 6, but episode 5. I actually have to watch Rampo-Kitan soon, but I will go watch Monster Musume. But well, I'm rambling, so the only thing I can say is solid world building, great episode, and everybody, you should go watch this. And I will be going to watch Monster Musume now, so I can, while this uploading. So you guys have a nice day, a good night, and stay happy, people, while watching this.